welcome back. This is the second portion. I don't know if you listened to the first one, but it was pretty intense. Um, this one has no video just because I don't want to bother.
Yeah,
It's too much. It's too much effort. I tried. I did video for the conversation part. This is our MF Doom tribute, and it's this. I don't know. This one was a hard one. We talked a little bit about it in the beginning of the first. I hate saying portion, but I don't know what else to say. The first chunk of recordings, but
the first episode.
yes, but yeah, essentially like we're gonna talk again about MF Doom. I've talked about him a bunch of times. He's a little bit of an obsession of mine. He passed away the 31st of October, but it was announced 31st of January, New Year's Eve. He died on Halloween. Like the man who reinvented what it is to be a character in music died on Halloween, and then his family announced it on New Year's Eve. Just, I don't know, it seems fitting somehow. Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's super sad, but also like, I don't know, like he lost so many fucking people in his life. Like he lost his brother Sub Rock, who were like part of the KMD group that started in '88 and then released an album in '91, I think, the first one. And his brother died. He was like run over by a car. I don't know if it was. There's a lot of deaths around MF Doom. There are not that have no info. He lost his son in like 2015 or something. Yeah. I don't know. Like he got to 49 and like realizing that most of his friends did not make it past their 20s. I don't know if it's like, if that's any solace. Definitely not for his fat. I don't know. This one was a tough one. I don't know. It's weird because it's the first time where someone dies that I've been obsessed with them for like a full year. Like I spent 2020 mostly listening to MF Doom. Like he was like 50% of what I listened to because there's so much of it as well. I just like dived into it, and he inspired so much of what I do now, at least like conceptually, and how like a lot of things that I do are built. So yeah, we're gonna pay like a proper homage. That was very weird. Homage. Yeah. Homage. To that man. Yeah. So I thought we could do it like a little bit chronologically. I mean, I don't have any of his prior to becoming MF Doom stuff to play, but you can go ahead and listen to like KMD. Which was like KMD was like an underground hip hop, like they were like popular at the time, and they kind of like came before Wu-Tang Clan, and they kind of had like a lot of that sound and the sampling techniques. Like they kind of like inspired a lot of people, and it was like Doom, his brother, and a couple other people in the like early teens. I think he was born in '71.
Because they started as a trio, right?
Started as a trio in '88. He was 17.
That's so young.
Yeah, and like by now they kind of like '88 hip hop was not yet as like hard hitting, and the sampling techniques were not that great. He kind of like underground kind of like started this kind of whole new thing, and he produced everything. And then I mean a little like very loosely what happened is they were signed to a label at the time, and they released the first album, which was like a minor success in that community. And then they were working on the second album, which was the cover is like that infamous like cover of a cartoon being hung. And and what happened is like right when they were about to release it, his brother died in that accident, and the label dropped them because the cover was like too controversial.
Yeah, like the label screwed them over, basically.
Yeah, the label screwed them over because one of the members died, and they were like too original and too honest and too like brutal, so they kind of dropped them. And generally, like from all the interviews I've watched, and like they said that like Doom at that time like was like so devastated that like he kind of disappeared from all the friend groups, and they kind of like no one heard stuff about him until he kind of told a couple of people his plan with MF Doom, like in '98, before he released like Operation Doomsday, which was his first album as MF Doom, and kind of like a very like iconic album, which a lot of kind of like Doom fans love because it's like the first edition that we got of Doom. It's not the it's kind of like this. His production is like very like low budget sounding, but that's a purpose. Like very like grimy and very
like this lo-fi kind of vibe.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Madlib where they said the reason that they didn't end up releasing their second collaboration and like that never kind of took off the ground, even though they were talking about a project that was kind of coming, is because they said that like the expectations were becoming too high in the industry for like production standards, and they loved that like old school, super like crispy sound that is not properly mixed or mastered, but it's kind of So they said that they didn't release anything because I think that was Madlib's decision, because Doom never cared about that. I think it was Madlib because he was the producer. I don't know why that happened, but yeah. So what happened is like the idea of like the persona he built was that because the industry betrayed him, he kind of like went back and kind of like became the villain that would kind of like go against the industry. Like that was the beginning of that concept. And the mask kind of came mostly because he had this kind of like idea that music is music, and this whole like new, because like also like at the time that he was like not active, like from 91 to 99, it kind of was the era of like people becoming superstars because of how they look and who they are. And so he kind of like adopted this idea that it's all about the music, fuck the people, I could be whoever I want or you think I am, but the idea is that I'm making this music and you can only judge it by the sound of it.
That's true.
And the aesthetic of it, and I have nothing to do with it other than making it.
Because he also like he assumes like so many different characters within his music. Do you know what I mean? Like he like morphs.
Yeah, I mean
all these different.
Yeah, he's like one of the first people in music other than like underground electronic music that kind of took this multiple aliases idea and kind of brought it to like hip hop didn't have that, because it was all about like having one name and getting notorious and famous with that name. And Doom was like, no, I have 5 different personas and every collaboration is a new persona. And like, if you're not a fan of me, you probably cannot trace the breadcrumbs to like this one man behind all those projects. And it's, because if you're not a fan of Doom and you like listen to an album like King Ghidorah, Take Me to Your Leader, and then you listen to Victor Vaughn, like who will make that connection if you're not aware?
Yeah, this is very true. Also, actually, I heard that for his live performances, he never actually performed live himself.
So no, like, he performed a bit.
Or he sent other people, right, to perform as him?
Yeah, like, but he would do this fucking amazing thing where, because he was a villain, like, he would have, like, 15 shows, and he would only show up at 7 of them and perform, and then the other 8, they were imposters that were, like, booed off stage and shit like that.
Yeah, people caught on. They were like, this is not MF Doom.
Yeah, because, like, MF Doom, like, he also, like, his body's very characteristic, because he has, like, a very thick torso, tiny hands. He looks like very bizarre, and he has such a particular voice that it's very difficult to be like, oh, maybe this is him. It's like if you're a fan, it's like you know him.
Yeah, especially if you're like a hardcore fan, right? You're gonna instantly notice that it's not him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not one of like the craziest things about him. Is like, I know people that like 10 years ago there was like an MF Doom concert in Berlin. I know people that had tickets, went, and there was an imposter. He never showed up. Like, and also like when he would show up, it was like 3 hours late.
It's kind of like, if I wasn't in the audience, I'd be super pissed. But I also think like I kind of hand it to him. I'm like, yeah, kind of genius. I don't know, like.
Yeah, I mean historically, because like he embodied the idea of like being the villain. He's like. Yeah. yeah, like
It's like a Marvel comic, you know.
yeah, truly. I don't. Yeah, there's like so many interesting things about Doom. So I mean, we can start by playing something from the first album, which is Operation Doomsday. Let me find her. Uh, so Operation Doomsday. I mean, there's the like track title Doomsday, which is a classic. I think I wanna play.
Oh, it's red and gold on there.
I think I want to play Dead Band because it's kind of like there's a 12-inch version of it as well, which is kind of like a favorite of a lot of like rappers that kind of bought this album at the time. Dead Band is like a little bit more like autobiographical because most of his things are like very obscure, and this is like kind of close to the chest. So I think because like Doomsday is like so played out, like I think this one's like an interesting track from that record. So yeah, we're gonna start listening to some Doom and reminisce.
God damn it. Super motherfucking villain, god damn it. About to get this million stacked of shit. Yo, this dip try to tell us. Ooh, you're like the sun. Chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brighter days. She told me you're the perfect one. Microphone check on 2 1 2 1 2. He told her I will rock this microphone. Always. I hold the mic like niggas hold their girls tight, but I ain't after her. Probably your Acura Pearl White, the hook or nah. And many times I done hit it. Just be specific more times than dimes in a Brisnick. When you broke north, I crashed the barbecue like Riddick at the Garden True. That's the garden me, pardon you. Cheapers, I was told back. The whole gang access to my beeper. Call back my secretary gatekeeper. Like I ain't peeper. I said, darling, you was stupid though. You know the super villain. Home. I had this style ever since I was a child. I got this other style, I ain't flipping a wow. It goes pure scientific intelligence with 1 point of relevance. MCs whose styles need elements. And once the smoke clear elements, the super motherfucking villain nigga came through raw like the elements. On 99 plus one of them. And with a flow to pull a fraud nigga foul from out in front of him. When we with y'all, we had tons of fun. Me and my duns and them. Actual true and living sons of them. Dead planets and guard jewels. Throwing divine rules to come through, we will overcharge yous. Ooh, and won't feel remorse for shit. Except for one time, once I had took my fronts out and lost some shit. Scientific gone berserk like red alert. I really want to pick up was nerd for cheddar dirt. The funniest experiments is where I went, obviously dead bent. And spent every red cent to rule you. And still drop more jewels than schools do. Or even TV news that's designed to fool you. Yeah, you who hear the most grimy suggestions from brothers with fly names and ID questions. That's a sequel like Victoria Teddy says that's edible. None's not ready yet for the incredible team of MCs who broke off fakes who thought they were slaughterproof. Stomping through like North Lake waterproof. Tat tat at the end of that. After hit the bar where baby girl bartender at. I told her more wine mingling with no single mentions of. Stay tuned for more spine tingling adventures of.
That ended abruptly. Yeah, so that was Dead Band from Operation Doomsday, the first Doom album. And yeah, so what happened is he kind of like came back as that character. He was Zed Love X for like KMD, and then he just created it. Everyone called him Doom because his last name is Dumil.
Yeah.
And everyone called him Doom already. So I mean, I don't know. It was like part of the conception, I guess, was just like his nickname was Doom anyway, and then MF like stands for like metal face because of the mask, and also metal fingers because he produces with those metal fingers. So it's like a brilliant, because I think like initially when they called him MF Doom, because MF also like stood for something flows, not magic, marvelous.
This I cannot help you with.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's so it had like, I don't know, it changed all the meanings, but yeah, so that was Operation Doomsday in 1999, and then like a very interesting thing happened. Like that record kind of like really hit in the underground hip hop thing and kind of like was really important at the time. And then like MF Doom kind of disappears again. And this, I don't know, this thing happened where like from 2003 to 2004 he released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums, right? And like 4 of them are probably like the most important albums he's put out as far as like the I don't know, like Doom fans' perception and like the how they were received, which is like just crazy to think that like 3 to 4, like in 2 years, in 2 calendar years, he released 6 albums, and none of them were like sloppy. Like the ones he like probably like some that didn't feel as conceptual or interesting happened in a time where he wasn't producing that much and he had all the time in the world, and all these like projects that probably like started from like 99, but then he decided to release them at the same time, which was an interesting strategy. But yeah, like 2003 was Take Me to Your Leader as King Ghidorah, also Vaudeville Villain as Victor Vaughn, which are like fucking iconic. And then 2004, Venomous Villain, which is another Victor Vaughn one, Food, which is one of his most iconic albums.
Is a classic one.
Mad Villainy, which is probably like I don't know, like Mad Villainy is for Doom fans and for like just people that kind of like Doom, like that's the album. Like that is the masterpiece, him and Madlib. And also like the Special Herbs, like first, the volume 1, which was his like instrumentals. Yeah, and like Doom, it's an interesting thing because also like he was born in the UK.
Yeah, he was, and he actually only ever had a British citizenship.
Yeah, because why? Because they didn't want to give a green card to another like black kid that wasn't born there.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, like how crazy is that? That like Doom grew up in New York. I mean, he like talks with an American accent. He's like considered like a New York underground hip hop legend.
He's American.
And American as like and he just died as a British citizen. Never had.
But I think he actually, towards the end of his life, didn't he? He had to move back to the UK because didn't he go on tour or something, and they wouldn't let him back into the US. Yeah. And then he went like I think 2 years or something without seeing his family. Something like this.
Some crazy shit happened around that. Yeah,
I mean, then they moved to the UK or something like with him.
How crazy is that? I mean, also like he loved the UK. Like from all the interviews that I've heard of him, he talks about the UK that like he loves hanging around London and going to the record show. Like he was like he considered himself a Brit somehow.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that like they never gave him citizenship.
Yeah, really, it's
so
it's
fucking
insane.
bizarre. So yeah, let's dive in a little bit of that, like 2003 and 2004 chaos. Let's go chronologically. Like, let's go to King Ghidorah, Take Me to Your Villain, which is Take Me to Your Leader. I'm sorry. Take Me to Your Villain. It's just
villain.
like any conversation about Doom becomes like all about the villain. I mean, Take Me to Your Leader are like probably my favorite. I don't know, like I always go back and forth to favorite albums, but this one to me like was a game changer.
Follow the light. The light is your guide. I'm controller of planet X.
3-3.
And I've invited you here to discuss something that's very important.
King Ghidorah, take me to your leader. Quick to claim that he not no snake like me neither. They need to take a breather. He been rhyming longer than Sigmund the Sea Creature. Been on Saturday feature. Pleased to meet ya. And came to wake you up out the deep sleeper like he needed to stop before he caught the knee drop. Even give you more zit than ZZ Top. When full bears thou shalt not more corner. Ghidra like one more steps in y'all's corners. So-called rich, front if you wanna. When he spit electrics, don't be in y'all saunas. He only here to warn us what the plan is. The hour is up on us, it's bananas. Born alone, die alone, no matter who your man is. Hope he live long enough to tell it to his grandkids. King Ghidra, 3-finger ring fever. Spring chicken eater, ID'd as the ringleader. Who needs a heater? Catch him with bare hands. These same hands that make razors out beer cans. His own biggest fan, and got a fan base as big as Japan. Yeah, and all hail the king, and give him 3 cheers, fam. Like hit, hit, parade. Do his thing for the little kings like Sling Blade. To the grave, put in work like a slave. On how to flip scripts on the dipstick brigade. Rock 'em like Su the old blade. Back when we used to rock the shag, no fade. This skill trade like a tailor-made suede. Hit the studio, and I'm paid. Half up front, half upon mastering. Would you like that in cash? Last thing you should ask the king. You don't have to be no crystal ball reader. Allergic to saltpeter, used to be a wall beater. In the game like a Wall Street cheater. A lot of rap noise is annoying like cedar. Turn into a triple X monster from a fairy tale movie. He don't know me very well, do he? King Ghidra crushed on the scenes teacher. They need to pay him better, she had nothing on the reefer. Heifer, and I had to offer her a stick of gum. She was as thick as they come and taught a strict curriculum, which is only good for my son. When I'm in the hood, razors on tongue. Nowadays it's amazing raising young. Rule number 1, keep your phasers on stun. Render unto Ghidra what is Ghidra's. 10 to 1 he sees you through a beaker and a tweezers. Read the fine print and be like, what's the big deal? Spun wheels of steel since broke wheel, big wheel. Back when it was greasy as a curl, now it's easy dread. Had a rhyme on how they used to tease him about his peasy head. Yes, yes, y'all, to the beat. Have a ball, or avocor. Have it your way, grab a straw, jab a jaw. Since two-tone leads, these new phonies is bony holes. Lonely like cheese and bologna only. I could've broke my sacrophiliac. Silly grind, Billy Jack, Illy 9, Millie Black. Listen to it go bang. Through and through a Kango. A strange combination of a Kango to slang flow. 2/3 slow, 1/3 amazing. Wonder words, fine sponsor of this Thunderbird occasion. And have an iller rhyme at least by Miller time. Collect a Skrilla and geese with a killer dime. Met her out in Killer Queens. Originally she from the Philippines. I love the way she fill her jeans, still a teen, and made for strange bedfellows. Okay, so it's head to elbows for shell toes. Uh-oh, heads up, there she blows. A whole load of head and shoulders, and who care where she goes? Let the music take control. Just don't let the evildoers abuse it and use it to take your soul. It's like putting fire to fake gold that turn colors and get duller than a baked roll with no butter. The shutter of a cake hole who break drakes till it get old and flake mold. Cornball, haven't seen white stars, I warned y'all. Like getting hit with a bottle of mold from Sean Paul. He not white, oh he mad light though. Either which way they not ready for the lightning show. And can't scandalize mine. You could ask the swine who can't stand when I shine. Ghidra the professor add a question to the lessons. He suggests you get a full assessment instead of guessing. It's too stressing. Did he stutter like rookie yes men, or did he just bring the butter like the cookie chessmen? This just in, they ain't even worth the worry. Lying on they first birth and couldn't even hurt a Smurfberry. Hear ye, how dare ye go up against the king who do his thing tri-yearly. They too carefree with their mouth around here. Off with his head and display it in town square. Atop a 7 feet spike, make sure it's on tight. In light of when the peasants throw stones with all they might. Skull gets smashed for weeks till vulture beaks eats the last meat off the cheeks. Maybe then they'll know the right words to speak out loud at home, in the world, or in the streets. There's no escape, just in case all the king's men's in them decides to go apes. The most slick talking to burly guys get caught early in Bolton oil like curly fries. Even those that's Mr. Furley size that earned the fate could all get burnt at the stake. Send word to his closest kins that for his sins we claim his throne, his providence, and its citizens. In the name of King Ghidorah. Don't make him catch a seizure.
We regret that you have not yet complied with our order. We interpret this as a negative reply. We are prepared, therefore, to conquer the Earth. We have stationed King Ghidorah in the Western Hemisphere. Ghidorah was always one of their weapons. And King Ghidorah is completely controlled by our computers through magnetic waves.
Are you a homeowner?
Like the others.
We help thousands of homeowners every month and...
All I'm saying, right, is in the old days, right? The women know who the women were. The men know who the men were. The women know who the men were. And the men know who the women were.
I merely tell you that the future of your planet is at stake. I urge that you transmit that message to the nations of the Earth.
Now do you feel like telling me where your leader is?
Just brilliant. Yeah, so King Ghidorah was like... taken, so like every time he had, like, I think like MF Doom's like sampling is probably one of the most impressive things about him, like, because he would take basically every character came from somewhere. Like MF Doom is kind of like based on like Doctor Doom from Marvel. Victor Von was Doctor Doom's origin, so it was like before he became a villain, and that's the idea like of the album that we're gonna jump into as well. It's like Victor Von, it's basically Doom when he was in college and trying to learn how to become a villain. And then King Ghidorah is taken out of Godzilla, I think. Godzilla. Am I saying it?
What do you mean?
Am I saying it weird?
Wait, Godzilla or Godzilla?
Godzilla. Okay, that's why. I told it like it's a festival in California. Godzilla. Let's go to
Coachella.
Godzilla. Yes, Godzilla. It's taking out of like the old movies, I guess, and it's like this three-headed monster that attacks Godzilla or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like the whole album, we played Phasers, which is the first track, and Fine Print, which is the last one, and one of my personal favorites. So he kind of like so he samples a lot from where so like most of those samples, a lot of them were like from those original
movies,
Godzilla movies. Yeah. And I think it's also fascinating, like there's a bunch of YouTube videos where they dissect every song in an album where he takes his samples from and how he does it, and it's just fascinating. So like this is like the first album that comes out after Operation Doomsday, and it's like quite a statement. And then same year he drops Victor Von Vaudeville Villain, which is another like cult classic. Basically like Vaudeville Villain is like the I guess like the pre-Doom. It's kind of like an origin story of Doom. And like when he talks about, there's a bunch of interviews where he talks about, and they asked him like, what about Victor Doom? And he's like, oh, he's a cool cat. He rhymes good. You don't want to be around him, but he rhymes. Like he talks about all those characters like in a very, like he doesn't go into detail. Like if you ask him how you made the album, he'll talk as like Doom, how he made the album. But if you talk about the character, he just goes like, you don't want to play with. Don't want to play with Victor. Like Vic is crazy, which I love. Do you have, what's your Vaudeville Villain fave?
Oh, I have to say I'm so impressed by your knowledge. I will admit that my MF Doom knowledge is not.
Hey, this is
vast.
This is not a competition. Which if it was, I would have won. But
yeah,
the point is,
you definitely would have won. It's actually wait, this is from the right album, right? It's like Can I Watch? Are we talking about the same
we're
one,
talking
right?
about the same
Great.
album.
Okay. Yeah. Victor Vaughn featuring Apani B.
Fuck yeah. He
is a
in
favorite of mine.
another interview,
Yeah.
he said, man, he's like hip hop albums, like you gotta put one for the ladies.
This is the one for the ladies.
This
Clearly.
it's so funny because like I mean, it's like a very old school like I don't want to judge him, but he's like every album you gotta put something for the ladies. So every album I try to put something sweet for the ladies, and it kind of goes like. It's very interesting as far as like the origin story and like the placement in this album, because basically this album is very like has a lot of narrative and like the production is very different from anything he has done like that far. It's kind of like way more crispy and like he uses like some synth. It's like very interesting. And this track is kind of like doesn't quite belong, but it's kind of also perfect. So let's play. He like it's either like sometimes it's referred to as "Can I Watch" and then others as "Let Me Watch." So I'd never know. Like this album says "Let Me Watch," and others like say "Can I Watch." So it's.
Cousin's friend wanna meet me. Saw V on TV, said she need a sweetie. Heard he was the type to do her name in graffiti and greet her with a kiss. Straight gentlemanly steed, a G. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. She could slip a smile to make a nigga flip wow. Herringbone name chain, diamond chip script style with the matching bracelet. Sweats with the K-Swiss, athletic chick who run track. Hey miss, pleasure's all mine, please call me Vic.
Okay, I did a full inspection. Head to toe, we rock black denim. Flashed the grin, sweet as sin, said to him, hey, my name's Nikki. You're 20 minutes late and almost missed me. Turn off my CD, I was bumping vintage Biggie. Said I love the way you smile, but your eyes look tricky. Yo, I gotta be home by 8:30 or my mom's will kill me. She spazzes out when I'm late, plus she says that I'm too young to date. So overprotective, I wish she'd take a sedative and shit. Yeah, but that's whatever, what's your perspective? Tell me more about you, Vic.
It's love at first sight, that's the proof. He wasn't outright too thirst, but in truth, fresh as a Mayflower, face like Howard. He had the green light, she asked him what's a Canaanite? Flavor of the night, Sam, Sarah, and Fahrenheit.
He talked, I listened. He listened, I spoke. We walked arm in arm and split a cherry coke. Spit religion and politics, Sega and chess, roots and culture, hip hop, skunk and cess. I caught him sneaking peeks at my breast while fronting name dropping connects.
First started out like she was just Vaughn's friend. Used to act grown for pretend, whispering, speaking on the phone for hours on end. On the bone from just listening, and then
call me back, my mother home.
Spoke the tone again. Call back and do the same thing tomorrow. If something don't give, I'll be forced to ignore her. Getting on my last nerves, forget it. All this talking shit and V ain't even hit it yet. It's uncharacteristic of the vet.
Hickeys on my neck the whole last night. I couldn't sleep. Practice the words I used to greet you. The next time we meet, think of you and feel heat. That make my cheeks blush. Close my eyes and feel your touch. Get chills when you slip me tongue. Picture me with you. Could my fantasies of teen love come true? Got me wondering how far I go to prove my mom's and everybody wrong. I miss you every time I hear a love song. And whenever you're gone, until I see you, then I feel short of breath. I think maybe I'm ready to take the next step. Yes.
Bet, I got your cab fare, dinner, and a movie. Bring a change of clothes just in case it's all groovy. Watch when I see you, I miss you a lot, yo. How about a nightcap, maybe a bottle of Mo, so V can bite your titties like a baby toddler, ho.
Oh, no, you didn't. You called me a what? Don't make me wig out. How you gonna let some shit like that slip out your mouth? Now, if I was there, I'd smack you in your smirk for acting like a jerk. Thought you was cool, but now I doubt the shit is gonna work. I'm not hurt, I'm pissed off. Kiss off, fuck this shit.
I know I played too much. Hey, on the way, could you please pick up 2 Dutch? Okay, peace. See you when you touch. I wonder if she ever had a cootie cat 8-8. Vaughn can't wait too long, stroke it on the late.
Wait, first, let's get this shit straight. Don't call me out my name, I'm not the one to get played out. Niggas, go figure them out. They're all the same, with a lame story. Like my ex-man Mike got my best friend pregnant and be still trying to call me. Well, fuck Mike and fuck Vic too. I wound up on Prozac from all the shit he put me through. Only been off my prescription 3 weeks, and you got me flipping, ripping my hair out. Never thought you'd treat me like a pigeon. I'm out, it's over, I'm gone. So long. I'd rather masturbate than fuck with Vic Vaughn. Rather masturbate than fuck with Vic Vaughn.
Let me watch.
Rather masturbate than fuck with Vic Vaughn.
Still, so what time you gonna be here, yo? Alright? I'm gonna be waiting, yo, just to holler, bring the buzzer.
I think like that's the brilliance of MF Doom. It's like no one has done a love song where it ends but like with the girl saying like I'd rather masturbate than fuck with Vic Vaughn, and like with like vocoder like robo voice and fucking special effects, like fuck that guy.
Yeah, talking about Prozac and
yeah, like that son of a bitch got me into fucking psych meds. Yeah, man, like
one for the ladies.
One for the ladies for sure. That album was, I mean, like that is not the tone of the album. Definitely, like it's very like way kind of like spookier and cringier. But actually, I was thinking like the other day because like I watched there's probably only 5 concerts that MF Doom has done that's online. It's in some way, and it might have been the only 5 he ever did. But it's funny because like MF Doom is like one of those rappers where he's like so underground and so raw hip hop, but he has such a white people following.
Oh god,
that is so funny because like I mean you'll see like I don't know like big hip hop shows. There's so many white people. Like it's a very like open, not culture, but like as far as genre, it's very like open. Like it's become quite a norm, but with like underground gritty hip hop in small clubs, you normally don't see just like white hippies hanging around.
This you don't, it's true.
Yeah, and like I remember like watching like, oh, this is like Doom with 200 people piled on top of each other, like fucking going crazy. And like I see 2 black faces, and it's like just like white people in fucking Oregon. I'm like, what is happening?
What's going on?
It's very bizarre. He has like probably the most diverse following as far as like, because everyone who's like into like pure hip hop loves him.
Yeah.
And then like so many white people that.
But it's super accessible as well.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like I feel like everyone can listen to his music.
It is. I mean, yeah, it feels to me 100%. But it's just like an interesting, I don't know, something I noticed throughout my research. Just all those pale faces.
White people.
White people. Okay, I think I want to play another one from this record just because I love this track and it's a bit more of the vibe of this entire album. And it's called A Cat and a Dead Mouse.
Even then, I had the uneasy feeling it wasn't young Victor Von would need my protection.
Yo, I'm only rhyming where the drums is at. Y'all niggas think y'all slick with that bullshit, bump that. Y'all pay V for flowing to the beat. Not for what he know, they got hoes hoeing in the streets. That's for him to know, and for they to never find out about the kidnapped blindfold and the blind mouth. The coroner report say he simply signed out. Oh, and I know, y'all wanna see a wino, bring the wine out. Cat with a dead mouse is how we catch a phrase and pause plays with it. Kill it and eat off it for days, kid it. Whoever ain't get it ain't supposed to. For standing still close to, bandits will ghost you. No shoot Sherlock, I don't know how they do on your block. Out here we rock on to the short shot. Shit still ain't stopped, keep it on till your peeps is gone. BB on the creep, no matter what you peep it on. CD, the pop. beat too ridiculously. People think he studied levitation's true mystery. Had a pal named Ed Leo scowling till he got him for his sweet 16. He said, Ed be wildin'. Rumor has his things got violent. They clouded him and broke the fuck out, but he ain't trying to rob him. I told her, don't tell your man, that's the trouble with these chicks. Next experiment, 12 strands from double helix. No, I haven't seen Kess, Neelix. Oh yeah? Just you stay away from her with those lyrics. Please, ain't nobody fucking after her. I'm out of here as soon as I fix the flux capacitor. And old Anna speak to V in a proper manner before he stab you and put out all type of propaganda. Stop the slander, chop the hand of a thief, and cut the mouth off of whoever come out they teeth. V sell time to an inmate, and then tell him a rhyme for the hell of it to demonstrate. They know who's the renowned beat critic, who do a street lyric like that's a neat trick. Off on a tangent, ain't got a cent. Supposed to went to management and spent it getting bent. Sparky, I had enough of your malarkey. For one, don't mark me. And who you calling darky? I had to take the card. Go.
Yeah, so there was like, those two I think are kind of like, not hidden gems of the album, but they're not like them. I don't think they're like the two obvious selections, and I love both tracks so much from that album. But that album also has, I think one of the I think like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in an album release, which is two of the tracks are called Open Mics, and it's Open Mic 1 and 2. And it's basically like, it feels like it's a recording in an open mic club where people like do like slam poetry and hip hop. And it's like, they're both like 8 to 10 minute tracks. They're super funny because the host is like little Willoughby or something, and he just he trashes everyone. And then just people go up on stage and do their thing. And it's like a bunch of different rappers and people doing poetry. And there's like an audience. I think it's all like production. It didn't happen. But it's one of the most interesting and unique and like little brilliant niche ideas I've seen ever. Which brings us to Food in 2004. I'm keeping Mad Villainy because I think like Mad Villainy is just like one of those albums that every track just can become your like favorite at any given point. Sure. It's ridiculous. Like I'm now thinking about Mad Villainy, and I'm like, I don't know if I can just play 2 tracks from that album.
But also, I mean, Food is also, there's a lot of good stuff on there. Like
so much in Food.
Again, where I feel like, this is my favorite track. No, this is my favorite track. They're all my favorite tracks. Like.
Yeah, I think for me in Food, I have like 3 standout favorites that have kind of been there from the first time I heard it.
Which ones? I want to see if they're the same as mine.
Okay, I mean, Beef Rap. Okay. It's the first track. To me, that's like the signature. Yeah. It's almost like the title track. One Beer.
Yeah, totally. One
Beer is sick, and then Con Carne.
Interesting.
Con Carne, it's my favorite beat on the album. That's why.
Okay, because I have Rap Snitch.
Rap Snitch is nice.
You're like, not so sure.
But I like the more like, I like the gritty doom stuff. Like,
okay.
I like the ones that make me feel like the future's uncertain. Those ones
the
speak
apocalypse
to me.
is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. What else? And I also have I have Doomsday.
Doomsday is from the first album.
No.
Yeah. We only
really?
Yeah, we only played from the first album. We only played Dead Band just because Doomsday is like the most kind of like famous.
Oh my god! Now. I swear it was from Food.
Oops. The first album is called Operation Doomsday, honey.
Damn. My
okay,
bad.
let's play Rap Snitches just because it has one of the best lines of all time. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. That to me is just like gold. Okay, so let's start with Rap Snitches. Then we're gonna play One Beer, and then move to Mad Villainy and have multiple orgasms.
Yo. MF Doom.
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Villain.
What up, nigga?
Ain't nothing. What's the word?
It's cracking, boy.
Same old shit, kid.
Man,
Day,
rap snitches, man. Shit is bugged out, man. What the fuck, man?
Shit telling me.
Niggas running their mouth. Telling everything. Everything.
Critical.
Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Tight profile, low, like 8 and paid in full. Attract heavy cash, cause the game's centrifugal. Mr. Fantastic, long though like elastic. Got my life with twin clocks that's made out of plastic. Can stand up brown nose and nigga fake ass bastard. Admiring my style, tour bust through Manhattan, plotting, playing the quickest. My flow's the sickest.
I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me why shouldn't it be true? I get a kick out of brew. There's only one beer left. Rappers screaming all in our ears like we're deaf. Tempt me, do a number on a label. Beat up all the MCs and drink them under the table like it's on me. Put it on my tab, kid, however you get there. Foot it, cab it, iron horse it. You leave it on your face, forfeit. Across the mic, hold it like the heat, he might toss it. Told her, tell him they stole it. He told her he lost it. She told him get off it and a bunch of other more shit. Getting money, DTs be getting no new leads. It's like he eating watermelon, stay spitting new seeds. It's the weed, give me some of what he drooping off. Soon as he wake up, choking like it was whooping cough. They grouping soft. First hour at the open bar and they trooping off. He went to go laugh and get some head by the side road. She asked him autograph her derriere red to wide load. This yard bird tastes like fried toad, turd, love villain. Take pride in code words, crooked eye mode, nerd geek with a cold heart. Probably still be speaking in rhymes as an old fart. Study how to eat to die by the pizza guy. No, he's not too fly to skeet in a squeeze a eye and squeeze a thigh. Maybe give her curves a feel the same way she feel it when he flow with nerves of steel. They call her super when they need their back plumbing fix. Howard's only one left, the pack coming 6. Whatever happened to 2 and 3? A herb tried to slide with 4 and 5 and got caught. Like, what you doing, G? Don't make them have to get cutting like truancy. Matter of fact, not for nothing right now. You and me, looser than a pair of Adidas. I hope you bought your spare tweeters. MCs sound like cheerleaders, rapping and dancing like Redhead Kingpin. Doom came to do the thing again, no matter who be blingin'. He do it for the smelly hubbies. Seeds know what time it is, like it's time for Teletubbies. Few can do it, even fewer can sell it. Take it from the dude who wear a mask like a tarted helmet. He plot shows like robberies. In and out, 1, 2, 3, nobody's please. Run the cash and you won't get a wet sweatshirt. The mic is the shotty, nobody moves, nobody get hurt. Bring heat like the boy done go on the wall. He came in the door and everybody on the floor. A whole string of jobs like we on tour. Every night, on the score, coming to your corner store.
One beer from the Food album. Yeah, and Rap Snitches. Rap Snitches and one beer. We're gonna move to the Piste de Résistance.
The Piste de Résistance?
Isn't that like a term used in English as well?
No,
okay.
it is a term.
Because you're kind of like...
I was like, what?
Wondering. Oh.
But which one?
Mad Villainy. But, I remembered. So the day that I finished all my assignments and while listening to like MF Doom and finishing an essay, I was like so nervous because a lot of weird shit happened. Like they moved the deadline, there was less time. So my really one of my besties in Berlin, before she went back home for the holidays, she left me like a couple of Ativan, which is kind of like a Xanax, but a bit more intense, I guess. And I was like having anxiety, and I'm like, holy shit. So I take it because I'm like, this will be fun. Let's see what happens. Probably nothing. So I finish and have this kind of like rush. And I think with just like the little like anti-anxiety kind of like happy pill, I just went into this like super cute mode. I finished at 10:30. I managed to get a couple of beers from the Spedi before they kind of like finish giving you alcohol at 11. Fucking prohibition again. So you have my beers. I'm high on this fucking medicinal whatever, and I'm like, okay, I need to talk to someone. And I remember just because I've been watching those like Harry Mack, Omegle freestyles. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Fucking a white guy from LA. Turns out he's probably the best freestyle rapper ever.
Wow. Okay.
You just give him words, drop words, and he just
like rhyme.
Yeah. He's like, no problem. So I'm like, okay, Omegle seems to have changed because the last I remember it was just like a bunch of naked guys trying to see a tit or something. When I was a kid, when I was a kid, that's what we would do. We would go on Omegle and see if there's someone who will show us something. Like when I'm 14, 15.
Please.
So I'm on Omegle and I bump into this guy and he starts playing some tracks and he's like, hey, I gotta send one to someone tomorrow. Which one do you like best? So he's a New York producer and we start talking and we start talking about MF Doom and like I spent...
What?
It's crazy. It's like I went on Omegle.
This happened?
Yeah, third guy I bump into. He's a producer in New York. He makes beats, and we start talking about music. I give him like some feedback. I tell him what I'm doing.
Amazing.
We start talking about life and music, and then I mention MF Doom, and we're both like, rest in peace. And we talked for like an hour just about MF Doom.
Oh my god, that's
beautiful. That's one of the most, and that's like I never used like Omegle like since and probably never again. I think my two like experiences in life from Omegle are gonna be looking for tits at 15 and then talking about MF Doom and
with some producer
with
in
some
New York.
producer now, and then that's it. So yeah, see, you can connect through MF Doom in many forms and many ways.
It's like your destiny.
It's my destiny. So now we're getting to... I mean, the last three albums are... I love them as like MF Doom solo albums. Those three are my favorites. I mean, there's two more, but like that chunk of like 1 year where he released 3 solo albums, I die for. And then he releases Mad Villainy with Madlib. So it's Madlib and MF Doom equals Mad Villain, and the album is called Mad Villainy, and it's kind of like the infamous cover of The Mask and like the masked villain. And this album, it's bizarre. Like Madlib kind of like the way they did it is they lived in the same house for like 3 weeks to a month, and what would happen is they kind of like lived in different like time zones. Like one would sleep and the other one would basically work, and then the other one would wake up.
So
and
one was like producing, the other one was like...
Yeah, so Madlib would make a cassette with like the beats that he came up with, and then MF Doom would like write, and then it would go back and forth, and MF Doom would write on the beat, and then Madlib would go into the studio, and it would just like go on like that for 3 or 4 weeks. And I mean, the production of this album is insane. There's a sample breakdown online which just blows your mind. I don't know what else I can say. I just want to play some music out of it. I mean, every fucking track on this album I want to play, which is a problem. I think that I want to start...
Yeah, which one are you going to choose?
Here's the thing, I've heard this album so many times that now my favorites are the ones that in the beginning I was like,
you weren't too keen on, and now they're like...
Yeah, now I've heard the other ones so fucking much. I mean, you like Meat Grinder, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's also a classic, no?
Okay, do you want to play Meat Grinder?
Yeah, let's play Meat Grinder.
Or do you want to start with Accordion, maybe?
Ooh. Yeah, okay, let's start with Accordion.
Okay.
And then play Meat Grinder afterwards, right?
Let's not play Accordion just because I wanna go through some of the deep cuts in this album.
Okay. So
there are no deep cuts in this album, but still. Okay, let's start with Meat Grinder, which is, to me, it's like the one hip hop track where you can try to sing along, but you will end up with dementia.
I have a little bit of information about this. Apparently, he uses something called a holorhyme in this track, which is basically where you're rhyming entire lines together. So I think this is also what makes it maybe so special.
Yeah, this track is fucking special.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. This is Meat Grinder.
The jar is under the bed. The jar is under the bed.
Tripping off the beat, kinda dripping off the meat grinder. Heat niner, pimping, stripping, soft, sweet minor. China was a neat sign of trouble with the script digits. Double dip, bubble lip, subtlest midget. Borderline schizo, sorta fine tits though. Porter wine, order grind, 8:45, let's go. Ever since 10-11, glad she made a brethren. Then it's last down, 7 alligator, 7 at the gates of heaven knocking. No answer, slow dancer, hopeless romancer. Dopest flow stanzas, yes, no, villain. Metal face to Destro, guess so. Still incredible in escrow. Just say ho, I'll test the yayo. Wild West style fest, y'all best to lay low. Hey bro, day glow, set the bet, pay dough. Before the cheddar get away, best to get Mako. The worst hated god who perpetrated odd favors demonstrated in the perforated rod lavers. In all quad flavors, large savers. Still back in the game like Jack LaLanne. Think you know the name, don't rack your brain. On a fast track to half sane, either in a slow beat or that's the speed or at the cane. Laughter, pain, doing songs lit in the booth with the best host. Doing bong hits on the roof in the West Coast. He's at it again, mad at the pen. Glad that we win a tad fat in a bad hat for men. Grind the cinnamon, Manhattan warmongers. You can find the villain in satin. Gongas, the van screeches. The old man preaches about the gold sand beaches. The cold hand reaches for the old tan Elises. Villain get the money like curls. They just trying to get a nut like squirrels in his mad world. Land of milk and honey with the swirls, where reckless naked girls get necklaces of pearls. Compliments of the town jeweler. Left back now, schooler, trying to sound cooler. On the microphone known as the crown ruler. Never lied to Ma when we said we found the moolah. $500-something laying right there in the street. Now let's try and get something to eat. Then he turned 4 and started flowing to the poor. That's about when he first started going raw. Kept the dro in the drawer. A rhyming klepto who couldn't go up in the store no more. His life is like a folklore legend. Why you're so stiff, you need to smoke more, brethren. Instead of trying to riff with a broke war veteran. Spliff made him swore he saw heaven, he was 7. Yup, you know it. Growing up too fast. Showing up to class with my wet in a flask. He asked the teacher if he leave, will he pass? His girl is home alone, he trying to get the... If you wanna sip, get a paper water fountain glass. How I'm supposed to know where your mouth been last? Hand so fast, he can outspin flash. Known to smoke a whole mountain of hash to the ash. Boom, bass, leave the room with the stash. Assume it's in a smash. Doom, get the cash. Is empty with no brain, but the clever nerd, the best MC with no chain you ever heard. Take it from the Tech 9 holder. They bit, don't know they neck shine from Shinola. Everything that glitter ain't fish scale. Let me think, don't let her faint, get Ishmael. A shot of Jack got her back, it's not an act stack. Forgot about the cackalack, holler back, clack, clack, blocker. Villainy, feel him in your heart, chakra, chart topper. Start shit stopper, be a smart shopper. Shot a cop day around the way, bout the stable. Who to know is too motor, wonder where the shooter go. Bout to jet, get him, not a bet, dead him. Let him spit the venom, said him, got a lot of shit with him. Let the rhythm hit him. It's stronger in the other voice, we makes the joints that make him spread them butter moist, man, please. Stage made of panties. From the age of baby hoochies on to the grannies. Ban me the dough rake. Daddy, the flow make her fatty shake. patty cake for fake. If he wasn't need a baker's man, he'd take her for her masters. Hit it once and shake her hand. Want some old thank you, ma'am, and ghost her. She can mind the toaster if she signed the poster. A whole host of roller coaster riders, not enough tracks. Hot enough black, it's too hot to handle. You got blue sandals, who shot you, who got you? New spots to vandal. Do not stand still, boast your skills close, but no krills. Toast for polils, post no bills. Coast to coast, Joe Smoes flows ill. Go chill, not supposed to overdose, no dose pills. Off pride tykes, talk wide, do scar me. Off sides, like how Wharf ride with Starfleet. Told ya, on some get rich shit. As he gets older, he gets colder than a witch tit. This is it, make no mistakes. Where my nigga go? Figaro, Figaro. O's beats in my rhymes attack. A scary act, all black like Miss Mary Mack. Wait till you see him live on the piano. Doom sings soprano like una dociano. My mama told me, blast him, pass her her glass of OE. Not to be troublesome, but I could sure use a quick shot of double rum. No stick of bubble gum. I like ice cream. We could skip the wedding. Have a nice dream. She only let him stick her head in. That is probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people you can call me your majesty. Keep your battery charged. You know it won't stick, yo. And it's not his fault you kick slow. Should've let your trick hold, chick hold your sick glow. Plus nobody couldn't do nothing once he let the brick go. And you know I know that's a bunch of snow. The beat is so butter. Peep the slow cutter as he utter the calm flow. Don't talk about my mom, yo. Sometimes he rhyme quick, sometimes he rhyme slow, or vice versa. Whip up a slice of nice verse pie, hit it on the first try, villain, the worst guy. Spot hot tracks like spot a pair of fat asses. Shots of the scotch from out the square shot glasses. And he won't stop till he got the masses. And show them what they know not through flows of hot molasses. Do it like the robot to headspin to boogaloo. Took a few minutes to convince the average boogaboo. It's ugly.
Yeah, so that was you noticed that we played all the tracks that were one from Mad Villainy because we're kind of running out of time here. So yeah, we're gonna jump right to. I mean, there's like I could play the entire album and just stay here and not talk for an hour. Yeah, but so yeah, that was Mad Villainy, and it kind of like, it was the first album that kind of almost took MF Doom out of the underground, but he just decided to stay there. Like this could have, like he could have gone on a fucking international giant tour. That was like, this one was big. And then the last solo album he ever released is like 5 years after this. It's 2009, and it's back to MF Doom. So it's 10 years after Operation Doomsday, the first MF Doom album. And yeah, so Born Like This is not a very like well-known album in the catalog. There's a couple of tracks that kind of they're kind of like famous MF Doom tracks out of this album, which I love. And we're just gonna play those two tracks and probably wrap this up, even though I can do this for another 3 hours. But we're gonna close with two tracks from Born Like This, which is Gazillion Ear, and then one of arguably, probably that's my favorite right now. Yeah. That's that. But let's go to Gazillion Ear.
Villain man never ran with crows in his hand and won't stop rocking till he clocked in a gazillion grand. Till in the wasteland sands, raps on backs of treasure maps, stacks to the ceiling fan. He rests when he's ashes, ask him after 10 miles in his galoshes, smash his stashes. Chip on his shoulder with a slip-on holster, a clip, a folder, and his grip on a boulder bolster. They supposed to know his show in his aura glow. Get from out the road when he get dough, it's horrible. Time is money, spend, wait, save, invest, a fest. The 10K so cave a chicken chest S. Yes, y'all are double get your trickles. The best ballers pitch in and rub to get a nickels. But tut, he about to change the price again and go up each time he blow up like hydrogen. Villain here, have him shrilling in fear. And won't stop top ill until he a gazillionaire, grilling stare. Yeah, your boy had drama, got him on the mental plane, avoided bad karma. One solar inbred, skinhead, a nigga joke. Plus a brand new chrome smoker with the triggers broke. I thought thought I told him fire and pins were separate. He find out later when he tries to go and rep it. Took a Jehovah money for an Arabic Torah. Charged in advance to translate it and ignored us order. One monkey don't stop, no slaughter. A junkie want a cop a quarter ton, run for the border. Know the drill, it ain't worth the overkill. Flow skill, still, there's no thrill. Fill a billion 10K bills in this pillar. Villain when it gets realer, split the skrilla with Dilla. Mix. Do a deal for kicks and get rich quick. Sketch lyric, bet your bottom nick on some Vic. Ick from the drumstick, come with the dumb stick. Sick, slick, hidden in a book. The only way they find it if it's spitting in a hook. Listen, don't look now, keep walking. Traded 3 beans for this cow. Cheap talking, Hawkman, stalking here that we hawking often. Coughing to a coffin, might as well scoff the pork then. He's like Wolf, some say stronger though. Off the top, J Strongbow, play along bro. Wear a mask like yo off the gong show. Flow slow as Mongo, Don Juan Thong Pro. For your info, when he's not practicing Jim Crow, an actress in some nympho bimbo. He's playing Ray J, the old tape. Doing well, what can I say, like JJ in a gold cape. Fill it to the rim like brim. Villain and you won't find him in no gym. Probably a foggy bog with the frogs with a dot on a guard as he squat on a log. Half cocked and half baked. Used to keep a full stock of work, half rocked and half shaped. My mistake, sign a track agreement for more G's than lines and cracks in the cement. In any event, it's fake like wrestling. Get him like Jake the Snake on mescalines. Elixir for the dry throat, tried to hit the high note. Villain since a itsy bitsy zygote. By remote, sending the meat wagon. Bragging MCs packed in with their feet dragging. These stats are staggering. Had his PhD in indiscreet street haggling. Villain, his agenda is clear. Ending this year with dividends to spare here. It's not meant for the seeing. Went through the ceiling after entering his center being. A new meaning to sales through the roof. Guaranteed raw as source truth is truth proof. It's the return of the tramp who do a duet jam when Ernest goes to camp for the right earn. Nah, I mean like burn. We need some more oil for the machines to burn. Learn. Jiminy Crickets, he gets lucky like winning free tickets off sickly lyrics. One man's waste is another man's soap. Son's fan base know the brother man's dope. A real weirdo with a bug rare flow, and the way his hair grow was ugly as a scarecrow. He was a mask so the charge won't grab. On a rooftop with a large stone slab. Heads up, talk white and thought niggerish. Refused to walk tight and got his off the vigorous. Black licorice and equally as yucky. How he handled the money was strictly damn stucky. Monkey hustle, man on fire. Later for the date than the hand-drawn collider. It costs more, it be seeming like a style. Doom leave the competition steaming like a pile. Smile, ding. Sparkling jewels, in effect like alternate side of the street parking rules. Fools, the roach was never dead. Live for a week, then dehydrate with a severed head instead. It was depicted as flicked, split the wicks lit. Already woke, spit a joke, barely spoke, rarely smoked, stared at folks when properly provoked, mirror broke. Hair share a strawberry morning, gone and more important spawning. Torn in, poor men sworn in. Cornish hens switching positions, auditioning morticians. Saw it in a vision, ignoring prison. Ignoramuses enlisting, sound dumb. Found them, drowned in cow's dung, crowns flung. Rings a Tinkerbell, sing for things as frail as a fingernail. Bring a scale, stale ginger lingers. 7 figures and bigger, nigga, fresh from out the jail, alpha male. Sickest ninja injury this century, enter plea, lend sympathy to limper, simple Simon Ramen MCs. Trees is free, please leave a key. These meager fleas, he's the breeze and she's the bee's knees for she's. G's of G's, seize property, shopper sprees, chop the cheese, drop degrees to stop diseases. Gee whiz pa, doom rock grandma like the Kumbaya. Mama was a hoe hopper, Papa was a Rolling Stone star like Obama. Pull a car like old drama. Civil liberties, these little titties, abilities riddle me, middle C. Give an MC a rectal hysterectomy. Lecture on removal of the bowels, foul technically. Don't expect to see the recipe until we receive the check as well as the collection fee. More wrecked than Section Z, what you expect to get for free? Shit for me, history. The key, plucked it off the mayor. Chucked it in the old tar pit off La Brea, player. They say he's gone too far. Duma catch him after Juma on cue. Laka! Do what you gotta do. Grah, the rumors are not true. Got to, ma. No prob, got the job. Hot barred, heart throb. Scotch guard, the barber, cotton swabs. Dart lob. Baker, cake sweet. Jamaica trading treats on the beach. Make a skeet till her feet meet. Can it be I stayed away too long? Did you miss these rides when I mama's gone.
Okay, so yeah, that was here's the thing. Here's the thing, young boys and girls.
Do we want to
with all the expertise in this room,
admit this?
Yeah, let's admit this. It's just like the fun side of this podcast show, radio show, whatever. We kind of played all the tracks, so the CDJs were left in just like very weird condition, and everything was sped up, and we didn't even fucking know this. And I remember like, I remember Doom like having like a lower voice.
Yeah.
I remember like fixing it on the mixer, being like, the lows are not coming through on this
sounds
system
a bit strange
at all.
What's going
like,
on?
what's happening with the highs? And we've been playing every MF Doom track and just like 20% speed, 20% plus speed. Now you're listening to this and you're like, no, you weren't. Yeah, because the magic of editing makes it feel like nothing ever happened. But the fact remains that we're idiots.
Yes.
So we just wanted to highlight that.
We wanted to highlight that
we're idiots.
Complete idiots.
Complete idiots. And we were like, the tracks are going like so fast and everything like it's moving along. Amazing.
Oh man.
Jesus. I mean, I fucking I'm gonna get a degree in here. Like, you're excused.
True,
but
I am excused. Yeah, but it's still like, you know.
Yeah, but I'm getting fucking certified.
Hurts my ego a little bit.
Ridiculous. I know. Everything was fixed in post-production because that's how the industry works now. Yeah. Or maybe we play everything in just like wrong speed as a tribute to MF Doom and his progressive style.
With like our own contribution.
Anyway, as always with MF Doom, I wish I could play more and I wish I could talk about him more. We just played, some of his like solo projects and only Mad Villainy as far as like collaborations. There's Czarface and Doom that you can check out. There's I always fuck up that, like it's Nebulian Doom.
Do not ask me. I am
I fuck that up all the time
on how to pronounce this.
There's Danger Doom, which is Danger Mouse, whom I adore. Danger Mouse and MF Doom, which is another great album.
Oh my God, there's so much.
There's so much stuff
to cover, right?
It's crazy that most of what we covered is the 2-year span of 2003 and 2004. There's so much things to still explore, and Doom was just rest in peace. Just an icon. Felipe called him, which coming from Felipe is high praise. If you are a listener of the Lazy Eye podcast, you know Felipe. Felipe said he's the aphex twin of hip hop.
Yeah.
Which I think is the
legit.
Highest of compliments, especially like coming from Felipe. We'll miss you, Doomy, Doomil, Doom. Your favorite rapper, Victor Vaughn, King Ghidorah, Danger Doom, JJ Doom, Nebulous Doom, or Nebulian Doom. I always fuck that up. Yeah. What else? So that was like a little homage. We fucked up a couple of parts of it, but with post-production nowadays, you won't even be able to tell.
You won't even notice.
Yeah, I think the podcast got us in like a very like CornyDOOM like little phase, and then we weren't like as into it. But so that was No Boundaries for this week. It's gonna anyone who wants to listen to any like podcasts and radio shows live, I would say that like 2 shows a week we pre-record and 2 shows we do live. Most of the No Boundaries is live, and it's every Saturday there's a show on Etiquette Radio. So first and third Saturday is No Boundaries on Etiquette from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Berlin time. And then second and fourth Saturday is the Lazy Eye podcast on Etiquette Radio, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Those ones sometimes are pre-recorded, sometimes are live. It's kind of like an impulsive decision on how much time I want to spend editing and hate myself. So it's kind of, it depends on the week. So thank you for listening or watching maybe the first part of this, which is a separate upload on the Lazy Eye channel, just keep your lazy eyes blazing, just like against the wind. Hold your lazy eye against the wind and let it breathe. Let
your eyes breathe.
Let your eyes breathe. Let them see the future.
The great dystopian future.
Yeah. Pay your respects to MF Doom. I hope that sales of his albums now go fucking badonkadonk, which is a phrase that I have never used in my life. I just want to be like extra white for this. Badonkadonk.
Badonkadonk.
No, I really think that like MF Doom is one of those like artist that in his passing, I think there will be like a great resurgence and great, I don't know. I just feel like people will
like a rediscovery.
Yeah, because especially with like those like iconic artists of the underground that a lot of people don't know, and then I think there's like enough attention because of his passing from like so many people that a lot of like new people will get into this MF Doom world. And just drink responsibly, like just one beer.
Prohibition.
Okay. Prohibition, baby. It's the anniversary today. So yeah, take care. See you soon on Lazy Eye Podcast or No Boundaries, whichever cup of tea you enjoy more. And have a nice week, you lazy eyes.
Ciao.